Good day, friends. My name is Rian Nolan, and I'm a HashiCorp ambassador and also a DevOps enthusiast living in Brisbane, Australia. Today, I've got something crazy to show you. Last week, I showed you how to run Kubernetes in a Docker container, K3s to be specific, and I'll post a link to this in the video. Today, I'd like to show you how to run a Windows, fully functional Windows in a Docker container on GitHub Codespaces. Now, the way I found out about it is a friend, when we went camping last weekend, on our way to the campsite, was a 3 hour drive and the aircon was broken in my car, told me about this way of running Windows in a container, and I couldn't believe it. It sounded absolutely interesting. And today I had a quick look at it. But friends, let me actually share my screen and show you what I mean. So the repository or the organization on GitHub is called github.com/docker with a UR. And in there is a few repositories called, one in particular is called Windows. Now, I've forked this repository into my GitHub user, star3am/Windows. And what I've done is I've added a dev container folder in there with a dev container.json, which is pretty basic. It just looks like this, and I'll show you the contents of this file. It's just 2 lines. I pointed to the Docker Compose, which was created by the original author, and the service is called Windows, and I matched it the same as the repository name. Now, when you go back to this repository and you click on Codespace, we can now create a new Codespace, and we can say we want a Codespace on main, and we're going to create it here now. Now, while this is busy starting up, I'll show you what this looks like. And let me see if I can move this. So basically what we are looking at here is just Docker pulling the container layers, the container images layers, and it's going to start it up. Now, while we wait for this container to start, let me show you what it's going to look like. Once this container starts, it's going to drop you into this VS Code window. This is the VS Code window of my branch. You can see my dev container folder with my dev container.json. That's all that I've added. The rest was done by the original author. Now, when it opens up, we can actually click on ports and we can open up port 8006. And what we will see is we will see a fully functional Windows. So here you can see we can open up Windows Explorer. We can go to the C drive. We can look at the program files. It's fully functional. And moreover, we can also make this port public. So if I click on this port and I go port visibility public, we can make it public. And this afternoon, I showed my friend what this actually looks like. And when he took control, when he opened up this URL, he can take control of the mouse and we could create a folder on the desktop and he would immediately see it. Friends, this is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I can't wait to test the other repositories because apparently there is a Mac OS in here that you can also run Mac OS in a Docker container. And there's a Windows ARM, and I believe there is even a Windows XP in here. Now I will link you to the original video that explains it. In this Windows, there's a config file that we can set, and you can then run even XP and Vista. And so I'm super interested to see what this looked like. But let me quickly just go back to this Codespace, which is starting up. So if we look at this Codespace, we can add a port, and this is port 8006. And when we press enter, it will add it. And if we open it in a browser, we should see that it's busy extracting the Windows 11 image for us. Now it will go on like this. It will extract it, configure it, set up the networking. It will reboot a couple of times. And once it's done, it will drop you into this Windows interface. Now, the way that this is working, it's not strictly running in a container. It is running in a container. But if you look here in the Docker Compose, they mount dev kvm into uh, as a device on this container. So it's actually a VM, but it's running in a Docker. Um, I can see here that the original author is also busy adding a Kubernetes.yaml here, which means we'll be able to run this Windows in Kubernetes. Friends, we're living in a wonderful time. Anything seems possible. Can you imagine Windows in a browser in a container? Here we go. Here it is. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I'll post all the links in here. Thank you for your time and happy coding.